Nobody saw this one coming. Every few months, the media seems to recycle the same tired fantasy, Meghan Markle marching triumphantly back into the royal family, as if the gates of Buckingham Palace are just waiting to swing open for her. And like clockwork, the headlines explode. Meghan poised for royal return. King Charles wants Meghan back. The monarchy needs Meghan. Really? We're still doing this? Because if there's one thing the monarchy doesn't need right now, it's more chaos. And chaos is the only currency Meghan and Harry have been spending since the day they walked away. And yet, here we are again. Rumours flying, stories circulating, whispers that King Charles is personally insisting Meghan returns to the fold. Not suggesting, not inviting, insisting. Meanwhile, Harry's conveniently photographed strolling through Heathrow, bags in hand, like he's making some grand symbolic gesture. And, of course, he lands in London on the exact anniversary of the Queen's passing. A coincidence? Please. Everything these two do is calculated, down to the last flashbulb. Compare that with William and Catherine quietly honouring the Queen's legacy with dignity at Sunningdale, choosing respect over spectacle. The contrast couldn't be more glaring. And then Meghan enters the narrative again, this time packaged as a woman willing to make the sacrifice of returning to royal duty. Sacrifice. Let's pause on that word, because if wearing pantyhose once upon a time was such an unbearable trauma that it still makes her interviews years later, then perhaps royal life wasn't for her in the first place. Meanwhile, Catherine has spent years balancing duty, raising children, undergoing treatment for cancer, and never once demanding. The world applaud her for tolerating stockings. That quiet strength speaks louder than any PR pitch, and Meghan knows it. That's why she keeps spinning the story. The reality is simple. Prince William has drawn his line in the sand. Sources close to him say he isn't bending. And frankly, why should he? He watched his grandmother shoulder the crown for 70 years, dedicating her life to stability and service. He knows exactly what the monarchy stands for. And now he's expected to let Meghan sweep back in like the past 5 years didn't happen? No chance. William is defending more than just his own family. He's defending the integrity of the institution itself, the legacy his children will inherit. He's protecting the monarchy from being turned back into the Harry and Meghan reality show. But here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. The only reason Meghan wants back in is because her brand is collapsing on the outside. The Netflix deals aren't pulling numbers. Spotify walked away without ceremony. Hollywood has moved on, and political figures who once found her useful are quietly edging away. Even Jamaica, yes, Jamaica, had to call King Charles directly after Meghan and Harry showed up uninvited on a red carpet, creating a diplomatic mess no one asked for. Imagine being a head of state forced to explain to the monarch of England that his son and daughter-in-law gatecrashed your event. That's not prestige. That's humiliation. And yet Meghan, in her infinite sense of entitlement, is allegedly demanding not just a return, but a full restoration of royal duties. Not as a favour, not as a compromise, as her right. Bow to me, curtsy to me, as though she's the monarchy's missing puzzle piece. Meanwhile, the press continues enabling this farce, pumping out sympathetic headlines, glossing over every past betrayal while scrutinising William for standing firm. Let's not forget the truth. The monarchy gave Harry and Meghan every chance. A global platform, prestigious titles, public goodwill, and they threw it away for Oprah tell-alls and lucrative streaming deals. King Charles, for reasons only he truly knows, appears open to reconciliation. Maybe it's guilt, maybe it's paternal instinct. Or maybe it's his endless quest for peace. But being a father and being a monarch are two very different things, and that's where the conflict lies. Charles may want to embrace his son, but William knows the institution can't afford the circus to return. And make no mistake, if Harry and Meghan are welcomed back, it won't be reconciliation, it will be surrender. Now let's talk about Meghan's carefully crafted image. She's not just selling herself as a woman wronged. She's packaged as the misunderstood trailblazer, a victim of archaic traditions, a rebel who shook the palace walls. But when you peel back the glossy interviews and PR spin, the picture is very different. Her short stint as a working royal was littered with friction, and not just from tabloid nastiness. We're talking palace staff in tears, resignations piling up, and formal complaints buried so deep the palace still refuses to release the full bullying report. Why? Because the findings wouldn't flatter her. And yet, silence doesn't mean ignorance. Those stories, cups of tea thrown in anger, aides berated until they broke down, they don't appear out of thin air. They come from multiple credible sources, people who risked their reputations to speak. And let's not forget the bigger issue: loyalty. Meghan didn't just leave the royal family. She torched every bridge on her way out. Oprah interviews, Netflix documentaries, Harry's tell-all memoir. Every project was another knife in the back of the very people who once welcomed her in. And while Catherine was quietly enduring her own health battle, Meghan's camp still found ways to stir drama from across the ocean. This isn't family tension, this is scorched earth strategy. Attack, accuse, monetize. And Harry? He doesn't get a pass. In many ways, he's the greater betrayal. He grew up inside this system. He understood the rules of duty. He watched his grandmother embody service. And yet, he chose to amplify Meghan's grievances, turning personal pain into commercial profit. He published their dirty laundry, sold it globally, and then flew back into London for photo ops, as if a donation here and a handshake there could erase the wreckage. But the public isn't fooled. They see the pattern. Every appearance is brand management in disguise. The most maddening part? The media's obsession with pushing the comeback fantasy. Every time a major royal event approaches, suddenly there's a surge of "Meghan open to reconciliation" headlines. Suspicious timing, don't you think? The Queen's death anniversary. Cue Meghan rumours. A state occasion for William and Catherine. Cue another round of comeback chatter. It's a cycle of distraction, and the press is all too eager to play along. But who exactly is begging for forgiveness here? Because Meghan hasn't earned it, not even close. International leaders see it too. That Jamaican fiasco wasn't a one-off. It's a pattern. Uninvited appearances, hijacked photo ops, optics over substance. And when foreign dignitaries start calling Buckingham Palace to explain themselves, it becomes a national embarrassment. That's not diplomacy, that's desperation. And that's not what the monarchy can afford. Prince William understands this better than anyone. His stance isn't emotional, it's practical. The monarchy survives because of consistency, dignity, and public trust. It is not a playground for celebrity reinventions. Bringing back two people who repeatedly undermined it isn't just risky, it's sabotage. That's why William refuses to budge, even against his own father's softer instincts. He knows what's at stake. He knows the crown's survival depends on drawing the line now, not later. Meanwhile, King Charles straddles two worlds, the monarch who must protect the crown, and the father who wants peace with his son. It's a tragic dilemma, but Charles must realise that forgiveness can't mean consequence-free. Harry didn't just grumble about family dinners. He broadcast accusations to the world, accusations that eroded trust in the institution itself. That's not private family conflict. That's public betrayal. And what about accountability? Meghan's mocking of royal customs, her dismissive attitude toward protocols, her endless victim narrative. All of it is still fresh in the public memory. Harry's smirking television interviews, his cold critiques of his father and brother, those aren't forgotten either. What people don't remember? A single sincere apology. Not one gesture of humility. Instead, every move is another PR stunt, another attempt to spin perception without repairing reality. And let's address the royal family's own inconsistency. Why are Harry and Meghan still listed on the official website, links pointing directly to their promotional platforms? If the palace can scrub the Duchess of Kent's page within hours of her passing, why are the Sussexes still proudly displayed? It sends the wrong message. You can trash the crown, profit from the chaos, and still keep your foot wedged in the royal door, just in case. That is not accountability. That is weakness. Authenticity is another sticking point. Meghan demands apologies from everyone else, but hasn't reconciled with her own father. She cut ties with her own siblings, but insists the royal family embrace her unconditionally. It paints a picture of selective loyalty, of someone who expects endless second chances, but offers none in return. And now, with whispers of her considering a comeback, it reeks less of duty and more of desperation. The Netflix numbers are in free fall. The podcast didn't land. Hollywood has stopped calling. So where else to turn but the very throne she once rejected? But here's the brutal truth. Respect isn't a crown you pick up after dropping. It's built slowly, earned consistently, and preserved with humility. Meghan and Harry have shown none of those qualities. William sees it, the public sees it, even Hollywood sees it. And that's why the comeback narrative is falling flat. Because it's not about reconciliation. It's about rebranding. And the monarchy cannot be anyone's rebranding exercise. William knows the stakes. This isn't about ego. This is about legacy. He understands the difference between a public apology and a publicist's spin. He knows that allowing Harry and Meghan back would not be a gesture of grace. It would be a betrayal of everything the late Queen fought to uphold. Duty above drama, service above self, stability above spectacle. That's the monarchy's survival code, and William is proving he's ready to protect it without compromise. So here's the real question. When the next round of media fantasies arrives, when the headlines shout about Meghan's grand return, will anyone still buy it? Or will the public finally recognise it for what it is? The last desperate play of two people who built a brand on rejection, only to discover the spotlight burns brightest in the house they abandoned. Because the truth is simple. The monarchy may be flawed, but it isn't desperate. Harry and Meghan, on the other hand, have never looked more desperate in their lives. And that's the real story. So, what do you think? Should Meghan Markle and Prince Harry ever be welcomed back into the royal family? Or is Prince William right to hold the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into royal drama. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.